Okay, we're back on the overdose.
We're back.
Hey.
On the line already should be Mr. Chirs York from the Fortean Slip. Chris, are you there? Oops. Hold on.
Yes, I am.
Oh, there he is.
Ah.
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm having my Hershey bar.
Hershey bar?
Yeah,
That's disgusting.
it is. But
So how's the show going?
good.
Yeah, I've been listening to some stuff. You guys did a thing on the Bell Witch. That's always been one of my favorite stories.
Yeah, I really liked that.
And then we're trying to fucking read about it, and it's like, people are like, there's nothing to this. There's no real documentation or anything. When I first heard about that story, I thought the significant thing that people talked about was it was like witnessed by so many people, and it was actually ruled by the police as a homicide by poltergeist or some shit, you know? Did you come across any of that?
A lot of it's just fucking hearsay and conjecture. Like, they say that she was or that it's the only case of a ghost ever, like, being responsible for somebody's death. But the way they get around it, it's kind of fucking cockamamie and bullshit.
Would you mind just giving a short version for our listeners in case people aren't familiar with the Bell Witch case?
Yeah.
I don't remember the name of the woman.
Yeah, well, we can help you out. We just looked it up,
Yeah.
too. I mean, Andrea, you got some stuff. It was like John Bell was the name of the farmer.
Well,
and,
right. No, I know it's John Bell, and I know that it was his daughter that took the brunt of the bullshit from the witch. I don't know what the woman's name was, though, the witch.
Kate Batts.
Kate Batts.
Kate Batts, yeah, that's right. So she, supposedly there was some fucking slave deal that went bad, and she was pissed off at John Bell. So supposedly she, like, I don't know if she cursed him or if she just haunted him or what the fuck she did, but like this, it was there was all kinds. It got really big. It got to the point where I think it was Andrew Jackson. God, I'm fucking like stretching, reaching for some of this shit.
Yeah, no, there was like
Yeah.
there was a plaque that said Andrew Jackson had come to visit there or something and fled the scene after some weird.
Well, no, he couldn't. Supposedly, like the horses or the carriage that he was in wouldn't go forward until like she allowed him to fucking go, whatever that means.
Right.
You know, and I think that a lot of that was probably just PR bullshit. You know, I think if you were to go back in time, a lot of this stuff was very over dramatized because people didn't have much for news or what have you, whatnot, whatever you might want to call it, media. Their lives were very simple in comparison to the lives that we have now with the technology and the connectivity that we have with people around the globe.
Right.
In an instant. You know, so I think maybe that a lot of that was just sensationalism. Personally, I don't go down the road of that. You know, she was responsible for the guy's death, or you know, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing what can happen to a story in 170 years.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, you know, it always seemed interesting to me, and it had like the perfect combination of kind of little folklore sort of things around it, you know, because there was the cave nearby that supposedly was barred off by law enforcement years ago and closed up and you weren't allowed in and stuff. And it's like, yeah, it was probably just a dangerous cave, you know, like
well, it had nothing to do with the Bell Witch.
Sure, I know, that's what I'm saying, and all that stuff gets put together. It has all the components of a good legend, you know.
Right.
Yeah, it was pretty much horse shit, but
yeah.
I mean, you know, it is what it is. It comes back to, and we talked about this tonight on my show. We did the Dogman sightings and the Beast of Bray Road and shit like that.
Is that in Wisconsin?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've looked into that too, and the witnesses are pretty hilarious, huh?
But my thing is, it's like, take all that away. Take away the comic stylings of the witnesses or whatever. Take it all away. It's just fucking stories. There's nothing to it. There's no evidence. There's no proof of anything. It's just somebody's sighting account or somebody's story or somebody's, relaying of somebody else's story. It's just stories.
Yeah. Is that how you feel about a lot of the shit that you guys...
Dude, I've been doing this for almost 2 years now, and we are at 99.99999% of all of this is bullshit.
Yeah. Just all unexplained. I know. It's so fucking disappointing when you grow up, because I think we've talked about this before, growing up kind of just being fascinated by that shit, maybe watching X-Files and movies and kind of fantasizing that one day maybe you'd be fucking able to really prove or discover or validate some of this shit. And then as you really become an adult, you just realize, holy shit, these are just fun stories for the most part. It's really fucking disappointing. There's been some huge...
Hey, listen, I enjoy the shit out of it.
Oh, yeah.
All right? Yeah. Obviously. I do a show. No, I do a show. I do like fucking 4 shows. I do this all the time. I'm constantly talking about it. I'm constantly talking about it with my friends, even when I'm not doing the show.
Right.
I have a blog that I run that's all Fortean related material. Fortean Slip. .blogspot.com.
Okay. There we go.
I already put it on the Facebook.
All right, yeah, we're gonna post all that shit for people on our Facebook.
But and that's not just my show shit. That's like all kinds of shit. Mm-hmm. There's everything's there. And I'm constantly updating that, and so I'm interested in the subject matter. My thing is that there's a tiny percentage of something that's probably, I won't go so far as to say real, but there's something to it. There's some substance to a tiny portion of a percentage.
Yeah.
Because,
I guess I'd agree with that. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of tempting ones out there, but, well, you go ahead and finish. Sorry.
No, it's fine. You just can't, let's take Bigfoot, for instance. The thing that got me into this horse shit.
Okay.
Okay, so you take Bigfoot, and Bigfoot is seen everywhere. There's just tons of fucking sighting reports. It's fucking here, it's fucking there. This dude's seen it. This dude saw it over there. It looked like this, it looked like that.
Right.
And the interesting thing about Bigfoot is that before social media, before the connectivity of the world as it is now, and even 20 or so years back, people back in the 70s, 80s, and even the 60s were having the same types of sighting encounters all over the fucking place.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now I think a lot of it's probably horseshit. I think a lot of it's probably misidentification. Somebody saw a bear. Somebody saw this. Somebody saw whatever. I think a lot of it's that. However, it's that small, tiny percentage that you have to say, okay, there's something.
Yeah.
Because there's so many sighting accounts. And I think it was Jane Goodall who said that, with as many sighting reports as there are, the chances of there being something in North America, a bipedal ape in North America, is very high.
Yeah, definitely. I was getting back into that line of research recently. I came across this guy Lloyd Pye. Have you seen him?
I don't pay attention to names.
Yeah, he was where you'll find videos of guys giving presentations at events that you can't imagine what they are, but for some reason this guy is up there for 2.5 hours giving a fucking PowerPoint speech on Bigfoot. Well, this guy was really good, and he made the case that really people ask, like, how has it not been proven? How have they not had the body? And he went over the history of all the times that, like, things traveled in a sideshow or a freak show or whatever, or there were, like, accounts of, like, the hairy person who actually, got involved in society. What was it, Minnesota or something, that actually had, like, 2 brothers that were supposedly some bipedal creatures that lived in town and stuff. There's just all these stories.
Yeah.
When this guy laid it out, there are hundreds of these stories that seem like, wow, I think we actually have seen them and proven them and had bodies around, but just mainstream culture hasn't let it in for whatever reason. I think there's definitely something out there.
I don't buy into anything that fucking somebody says when they get up at a fucking podium and it involves Bigfoot. Listen.
You should check this guy out.
There's so many fucking people. I think I've heard of him before, and I probably think he's a fucking douche. And that's not to throw down what you've said or what you think about what he said.
No. Why would
I'm very jaded. I'm very fucking jaded when it comes to Bigfoot. And especially people, people who claim to know something about Bigfoot. Nobody knows anything. Nobody knows a fucking thing. There is nothing. There is a film that some guy took. This guy is dead.
While he was making a movie about Bigfoot.
The other guy that was with him is the only guy that's still around and told the fucking story.
Are you talking about the Patterson?
Yeah, I'm talking about the Patterson Gimlin footage.
Yeah.
Is the only thing that's even close to what you could call evidence.
Yeah, but wasn't the guy
can't even call it that?
Wasn't he out there shooting a fictional movie about Bigfoot when he caught the fucking?
He was shooting something that had to do with Bigfoot.
It's pretty suspect to the whole thing. But
yeah,
then again, nobody's been able to prove that the body movements were that a human would be able to do it. I guess right? It's come down to the science of people dissecting that video, and nobody's ever been able to say,
there's something about the way
this was faked.
There's something about the way his legs move that everybody latches onto when they're trying to disprove it too. They're saying the way he lifts his leg wouldn't be done that way by a human. I've heard that one all over the place. You haven't?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's about the gait.
I don't know if a guy could fit in the suit. I don't know if a guy could walk that way. I know that the guy that probably that says that he was the guy in the suit, there's no fucking way. I know people who have been out there who have walked that path, and it's not, somebody in a suit would have a bitch of a time walking that.
Yeah.
And I recently went out to Washington State last year, and I met up with a few people that I know, and one of the guys that I met up with is from I think it's Clone FX. It's Doug Hudson. He has a Bigfoot costume that he rents out for movies. It's in the new movie that they just put out, Valley of the Sasquatch.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
It's a fucking it's a nice Bigfoot costume. And we took it out to the Brown property on the Olympic Peninsula, where they supposedly filmed the thermal footage of a Bigfoot.
Okay.
But what we wanted to do, or what Doug wanted to do more than anybody else, was to put somebody in his Bigfoot suit and match up the spot where they took the footage of the supposed Bigfoot thermal and try to take thermal footage of a guy in a suit and see if it would come out the same.
So you want to try to recreate it? This sounds suspiciously like the O.J. Simpson trying to put the glove on demonstration.
Well, no.
It just can't be done.
What it does is it eliminates the idea that could have been a guy in a suit. The thermal footage that they took.
Yeah.
Because if you put a person in a suit and then you take
thermal
of them,
I see what you mean. Okay.
The only thing that heats up is the eyes and the mouth.
Got you. I see. Okay.
Whereas if it's a fucking biological creature and it's thermal footage, the whole thing's gonna fucking light up.
Right.
So anyway, I'm very jaded because people, they think they know what's going on with Bigfoot, and nobody really knows anything about this fucking creature.
Lloyd Pye knows.
It's all just it's all just fucking hypothetical situations and theories and bullshit. And,
yeah, but what do you think? I mean, because overall, kind of the way that I started looking into it more was, like you said, the overwhelming number, and just the incredible amount of fucking anecdotal evidence eventually does kind of weigh out to something. It's like, could everybody be making a mistake? Or, you know, especially when you get into like people who are really telling stories like, look, I could see the thing. It was daylight. It was right in front of me. I smelled it. It made a noise. You know what I mean? There's so many. It's like eventually, yeah, I can't imagine that they're all bullshit.
Not to mention how many cultures that kind of thing exists in. It's, you know, it's not just a North American thing. There's the Asian, what is it, the Yeti?
There's
or
all that
something
shit.
Like that.
But
yeah, there's so many.
It's
all
also
over.
a lot of cultures that have claimed like, yeah, I didn't know that was a big deal. We've known about that thing for 400 years. You know, a lot of Native American cultures are like, yeah, you don't know about the fucking mountain guy that comes down here? It's no big deal. Yeah. We know that guy. You know,
he's definitely real.
A lot of Native Americans, it seems like, have a casual explanation of it, but then again, a lot of them are like drinking gasoline in the fucking, you know, like sitting around on the beach all crazy. That those couple of guys on YouTube that are like Native American, you know, like.
I'd like to chime in, but I can't hear a fucking thing you're saying.
Oh, really?
Yeah, your guys are totally choppy and like digitized and shit right now.
Let's see if we can fix that. Sorry.
But
we're not saying
yeah, so I like whatever you just said for like the past like 2-3 minutes. I didn't hear any of it, so just thought I'd let you know that.
Here, is that any better? I turned our video up. Okay, cool. Anyways, I was just saying that like a lot. I was making the case that a lot of Native American tribes and people, you know, that you'll see talking, seem to have like this casual relationship with the Bigfoot or whatever the name that they have for him is. And then I was saying, but a lot of those guys like look like they're doing like hard drugs and are pretty fucking wasted and just chilling and will pretty much.
We just recently had Dr. Matthew Johnson.
Who's that?
Come out and say that if you missed this one, this lovely fucking gem, he basically got up in front of people and said, have you ever seen the movie Stargate? And then proceeded to tell them how Bigfoot, him and researcher John Carlson, I believe it was, and Adam Davis of Britain, Great Britain, London, not London. He's British, anyway.
England.
He thinks he's some great fucking researcher.
There's too many names for fucking England. I've always said that.
So anyway, they saw this Bigfoot portal, and they saw portal guardians, and they were able to shut off the portal with a fucking flashlight. Now, Dr. Johnson does not allow anyone to take video at his location. He does not allow anyone to take pictures. All you're allowed to do is come back and tell your story. And my question to this whole cockamamie bullshit, whatever the fuck it is this. You just saw a Bigfoot portal. What I would consider to be the most amazing discovery in the history of mankind. And nobody's allowed to snap a picture?
Well, no. I mean, then it wouldn't be the same kind of spiritual experience, you know?
So they're like native tribes down in South America. If you take pictures of them, you're going to steal their soul. Even though they have the technology.
That is a concern with interdimensional.
To create a portal.
That's a big concern with interdimensional Bigfoot research. I don't know if you've been keeping up with that, but there's a major concern about stealing Bigfoot's soul with cameras. You know, that sounds kind of like how the Mormons got started. Shit like that, you know?
Yeah.
It's fucking people believing in bullshit like that. Eventually, this guy must be trying to start some kind of cult.
Scientology, motherfucker.
Yeah. Just as easily, sure, yeah. I'm sure they don't allow videos of their fucking initiations.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's some fun shit. We just did a show on that not that long ago.
Did you really?
I watched Going Clear.
What is that?
And
one?
what an eye-opening, fun fucking documentary that was.
Is that about getting out of Scientology?
It's about it's based on the book that just came out of the same name. It's about, you know, the inner workings of Scientology and how it started and how it got created and how they became a religion, how that all went down.
Okay.
Which was basically just they blackmailed the IRS until
What?
they were given the status of a religion. Yeah.
Wow.
What the Church of Scientology did was they levied so many lawsuits against the Internal Revenue Service that the Internal Revenue Service finally said uncle.
Wow, you know, that really kind of makes me love them a lot. And
Yeah.
this, you know, like, holy shit, what a great fucking tactic. That's hilarious.
It's a great tactic, but no, it's like, think about that for a second. Okay.
All right, let's do that.
The IRS is the
Right.
governing body that decides what a religion is. Not like a group of, you know, like learned theologians or philosophers.
Right.
The dumbass motherfuckers at the IRS.
Just the drab, personality-less wastes of fucking space, just bureaucrats. Just pieces of garbage. Yeah.
That's who's deciding whether or not Scientology was a religion. Not some guy who, you know, has spent years studying different religions and he's a theologian and he could fucking, you know, cite Hebrew to you or fucking whatever language you wanted to fucking know from ancient times.
I speak Episcopalian.
No, just a guy that sits behind a fucking desk and tells you no.
Right. And in the end, it was decided on a financial basis, it sounds like.
Yeah, pretty much. It was decided because the IRS couldn't afford the fucking lawsuits.
And that's all it was.
Because it was such an obvious fucking cult scam that nobody was going to get away with it otherwise. I had this chick that when I used to wait tables, I kind of, you know how you get once in a while, I don't know if you ever worked in restaurants, but you'll get customers that maybe come in every day and just chill and you become friends, you know. And these couple sisters used to come in and eat all the time. And one day we started talking about Scientology because it was right when that South Park episode came out, and everybody was buzzing about that, and it's fucking hilarious, kind of explain the whole thing. And so I'm asking, because I knew they had vaguely referenced before that the one girl had been a Scientologist at some point, but they made it clear they really didn't want to talk about it. So I asked them, I'm like, listen, is that story that they told on South Park, because I think this was before you could just Google things really easily too.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is that story... is that the real fucking thing? You know, is that really what they tell you guys? And she's like, yeah, that's basically it. You know, I'm like, that can't be, you know, and we get started talking, and to make a long story short, she eventually lays it out that, like, she got basically brainwashed and tricked by a guy who said, they started out dating for a little while, and he introduces her to the whole thing, and before she knew it, she had given them everything she owned, you know, and forfeited everything she had to them, and ended up as just like a sex slave, fucking cleaning lady.
She was sucking dick for an e-meter.
Yeah, exactly. And she was cleaning.
I want to be clear.
Right. She was cleaning toilets. She was cleaning toilets and fucking sucking on old guy balls, long old guy balls that fucking hang way down.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Definitely.
God love her. I'm going to be an old guy someday.
Yeah. We're all on our way. But you know, she's doing all this gross shit for a couple of years, and then eventually somehow some of her friends or family convinced, you know, they somehow got into like her a meeting outside of the fucking place or whatever, and they just grabbed her and said, fuck you, get in the car, you're going home, you know. And nice. and they actually had to fucking take months and months to get her to not want to go back, you know. And she was
it's some scary shit.
She was a slave and she wanted to go back.
Yeah, it's scary shit what they can do to people.
Yeah.
And what brainwashing can do to people. I mean, just look at what happened with the fucking Kool-Aid guy.
I know he's always crashing.
Jonestown.
He's always crashing through that fucking wall and hurting himself. It's ridiculous.
Oh yeah. No, wrong guy.
He's always interrupting meetings and stuff. It's fucking. It's uncalled for.
Just always bad. Always no sense of timing.
His glass is all scuffed up.
He gets everything all sticky.
How does he not break?
I know.
Going through the fucking wall. That's what I want to know.
What glass container can crash through bricks? That is a great fucking question. That's a great animation choice there, fucking retards.
Idiots.
But no, you're talking about Jonestown Massacre.
Yeah, I'd be talking about Jonestown or the Heaven's Gate cult, which like I'll never forget the Heaven's Gate cult because it's like, really, you guys think you're gonna like hitch a ride on a comet,
dude?
You need some Nikes to do that.
I've told this story before. I think I was in like 5th grade or something, and I was over at my friend's house, and the Hale-Bopp comet was going by. And you remember that? What was it? It was up there for a long fucking time, a couple weeks or something, or was it all summer? I don't remember, but it changed colors, and you could see it for a long ass time.
Yeah, it was. I think it was like 2 weeks.
Yeah,
it was a while.
So that night, I don't know. This really doesn't pertain to anything, but for some reason that night, while all the adults were like concerned with that, there was that on the news. They were showing the video footage of that fucking the massacre and everybody dead and stuff, and that was pretty crazy for the time. And me and my friends had bought these lollipop guns that were here's a great thing to sell to kids. They were literally, this was the product. The night that all those people killed themselves and all that suicide was on TV, me and my friends bought lollipop guns where the lollipops came out of the barrel of the gun. So you hold them in your mouth and pull the trigger and the thing would spin on its own. So it was candy. It was a candy sweet reward for holding a gun into your mouth and pulling a trigger. If that's not fucking dangerous Pavlovian training, I don't know what is.
My God.
But we had these things and we went out, and in the dark, when you're silhouetted on the street, they looked like real guns when you put the packaging on them. They were like the size of real guns, and they were colored like guns. And we were standing in these little bushes on the side of the street, and as cars were coming by, we were jumping out in the street and pointing our guns at them. And they were freaking out, thinking they were real guns, and slamming the gas and fucking taking off. Anyways, that's what I did that night.
Lovely.
Takes me back to the days of candy cigarettes.
Oh, dude, candy cigarettes. I was talking about that with my mom the other day and asking her, I'm like, why did you let us have candy cigarettes?
And bubblegum cigars.
Did you not see what that was?
Yeah.
And they had powdered sugar so that you could, like, blow through them and make a little smoke thing.
Yeah.
You know that? You remember that?
I do remember that. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That was the best.
But fucking candy guns that you put in your mouth and pull the trigger.
Yeah.
I've thought about that many times, and yeah, for some reason I remember that was the same night those people committed suicide. But anyways, getting back to your original point, I don't know what the fuck. David Box made me smoke. We're smoking this that weed wax.
Yeah, marijuana wax or dabs or whatever.
Dabs.
Oh yeah, I just got done with a batch of that the other day.
Oh, you're doing that, and I didn't mention
Some
for
serious
people.
Shit.
You're up in like central Maine, right?
I'm in southern Maine.
Or southern Maine, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what? Andrew's looking at me like that was real fucked up.
It's very different.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah. So anyways, just to put people in perspective, we're doing this over Skype.
So and just so you know, your audio is still kind of fucked up. I can keep up with you guys, but it's choppy.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck is happening.
But I wanted to ask you because things have changed since the last time that I came on the show.
Yeah.
So what happened with your monkey or co-host? The dickhead that I couldn't get a word edgewise in.
Right. Yeah.
Next to the last time I was on your show.
He really what actually happened, he just stopped he stopped showing up basically, and we didn't contact. It was like he quit coming. One day he just didn't show up, and we made no effort to contact him, and it was just an unspoken thing, and it was really strange. me and him have been friends for a long time. Off and on, he's been sort of a manic personality that he gets, like how he was in the past few months on the show, or the last few months he was on. Like when you talked to him, he's just a fucking asshole, and he just no discussion made any sense. He was just manic, just rambling all the time and shit, you know. And then he'd have periods where he was fine and he was cool and we'd be friends and everything would be fine. But you know, so he went into his crazy period for a while.
And then he had a period.
Yeah, and he didn't call anyone. He didn't call anyone or do anything. We didn't contact him. And then only a few weeks ago, so like a few months after he just left, he called me up and tried to rope me into some schizophrenic conversation that went nowhere, and I just had to hang up on him. So I honestly, I don't even know what happened with him, you know.
Yeah,
I was just curious, being that I've done a show for almost 2 years now, and I did lose one guy along the way. It wasn't. I won't say it was totally like a big blowout or anything like that. It happened how it happened. It was, him and I are still friends at this point.
Yeah.
We didn't speak for a while.
Was that Scott?
What's that?
Was his name Scott?
No, his name was Matt.
Matt, that's what it was. Okay.
He was on the show before, and he even comes back now, and he'll do the show now on occasion. And I actually wish he was still on the show, and he brought. Between Steve and I and him, it was a great dynamic. But, I just find it interesting where these relationships go.
Yeah, well,
you do these shows together, because it's a commitment thing. Like when I started doing the show with those guys, it became sort of like a strange quasi relationship.
Yeah. That
I had with these two guys, for this weekly thing, which became more because we'd started doing it during the week when we do the news, and then we started doing the news on the weekends too, and so it becomes this sort of committed relationship.
Yeah, it's always weird,
and it's fucking hard to deal with.
It is. It's really weird working in any kind of creative project with friends of yours that you have to commit with, because then your relationship becomes this kind of strained thing where you're not really friends anymore that are just there because you enjoy each other's company. Now you're looking at each other to come through and be productive in certain ways, and people get mad when other people don't do as much as them, and it really does change the entire dynamic and kind of remove all the reasons that you wanted to be around each other in the first place, And that was sort of what happened with me and him, although I really do feel like it was mostly due to his sort of immature view of what we were trying to do, because he couldn't understand, and I've had this problem playing in bands a lot of times.
Can't hear any-
Hello? You can't hear anything? God damn it. Hold on. Is it this thing? Hello? Is that better? No? We're getting cut off? Chirs York is gone. Well, I was going to make the point that I've had this problem a lot of times in any... wait, he's calling? Son of a shit.
What?
Fuck. He's going to call back. Chirs York will call back. Right. I was going to explain that I've had this problem many, many times in bands or other creative projects or whatever, that when anything becomes a commitment, friendships get strained immediately. Immediately. Because people who aren't very serious about it and don't want to work hard will go into this mode of kind of rebelling against the whole operation, as though people are trying to force them to fucking do things they don't want to do.
Yeah.
But you're involved, asshole.
I was doing this as a favor to you.
Yeah, you just want to do it half-assed and get some kind of bullshit credit.
Well, if you don't like how I do it, do it yourself.
Yeah, dude, you know how many people like that I've dealt with?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
A lot.
And that's anytime you actually commit to a creative project.
Is that happening with us?
No, you're actually like the only one that is pretty sensible.
Yeah.
No, and there's some other people around. There's some other people around me in music. My music crew is pretty good right now.
Yeah, you guys are kicking ass.
But
they're out there. They're hard to find, though.
But it's really hard to find, man. It took me to be until my late 20s before I kind of had a consistent, decent crew. Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey, what's going on?
All right, sorry, dude. I don't know what's going on, but so you're on your regular phone now?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Anyways, I was just to recap. I was just saying that I've had that problem a lot of times with bands and etc. Of just people that when it comes to a commitment, they would rather just sort of play the martyr and act like you're trying to force them to do shit they don't want to do when they made the commitment to be in the project in the first place, and they just don't want to fucking do any work, you know.
Yeah, and it's hard to do. It's hard to deal with. It's, I mean, you know, you'll be. I know a lot of times we'd have issues with like I'd be like, all right, let's start at this time, and everybody'd be like, all right, yep, sure, and then that time would show up, and every single fucking time somebody'd be late, you know, to record, or you know, thank God we never did a live show.
Yeah.
Or I've never done a live show. I just, you know, we go, we record, I post it fucking whenever because I don't give a shit. It's the way things are done now. I see so many people do live shows, and I know you guys do a live show, and that's great. You know, kudos to you. But fuck, look at the way fucking stuff is done nowadays.
You know what
like,
it is,
I watched the entire season of Daredevil in a day. The fucking day it came out.
Right. I don't know what that is.
You know?
I think it's a Netflix series.
Oh. So what
yeah,
I was going to say...
It's a TV show based on a comic book superhero.
The one thing, I think there's different approaches, and I think with, like, podcasts, it's definitely... There's no reason to do it live when you're a focused podcast. The reason we do it live is we're trying to have that sort of like pressure to perform, and I think it comes across in the energy of a show like ours that isn't focused whatsoever. It's topic du jour, it's whatever. And I think the live element, even though there's no one listening, there's, you know, I mean, it's
don't you love that?
Yeah, the YouTube video is really the reason we do it, but we do it live to have that pressure and that energy, kind of, you know.
I still have a live pressured energy because once I hit that fucking record button, I don't stop for nothing. Like that's the deal. That's what I tell the guys. The only reason that I pre-record is in case anyone says anything that could come back and bite us in the ass, and it has happened. Like somebody said somebody's name, somebody said, you know, someone's last name that they shouldn't have said, and I've had to go back and edit it out.
Hey,
but once I hit that fucking record button, we're on.
My co-host,
ex-co-host,
at one point said he was going to kill the president.
Yeah.
On the live thing. That's
awesome.
Yeah,
I'm surprised fucking Secret Service didn't show up at his house.
We had a great conversation there right afterwards where he goes, "What is that? I can't say that." We're like, "Dude, how do you not know that that's illegal?
That's like the only thing you can't say.
That's like the only thing you can't say." Although then we looked into it.
Well, if you're Ted Nugent, you can say whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, but pretty much. We looked into it. A lot of people have gotten away with it.
Everybody who hasn't actually taken a step towards physical violence.
Any like artistic attempt at it has been held up by the Supreme Court. So whatever, you know.
Yeah, there's tons of people out there who are saying shit like that, especially. And it sounds kind of fucking weird, but since fucking Obama's been president, like I've heard more of it since he's been fucking president than I think I ever have.
Oh yeah.
And I haven't been all that happy with his presidency, but I mean I'm not gonna be the guy that goes out and says that or even fucking thinks it for that matter.
We were doing a very, very like hardcore anti-establishment thing there, you know, and it was kind of flying on our show for a while. But
was he like?
It was also I don't give a shit anymore. They're all fucking crooks. I don't give a fuck about distinguishing them.
Did he say like I'm going to kill the president, or was he like, man, the president?
Yeah,
he did,
the president. I'm gonna kill that.
He said something exactly like that. He was like, I'll fucking kill him. I don't care. Something like that. Yeah, and it was like, dude, I kind of looked at him and I tried to tell him, you know, I was like, dude, you can't say that. But then he goes, what? I can't say what? I'm going to kill the president because I am going to. You know, I'm just like, no, dude, stop. You have to stop. You know, he's like, He's like, no, and then in the YouTube clip, if you listen to it, I reversed all of his shit, so it's
distorted it.
Yeah, and so it's like edited. So, but that's the story on that. So that shit happens when you're live. I like the live thing too because we've had shit happen like on 8chan.
Yeah.
Somebody posted a link to our show one time and just wrote "gay talk show taking calls."
Yeah.
So all these people started fucking calling us.
And dude, if I got upset every time I had fucking criticism about my show, holy shit, I'd be a fucking train wreck at this point.
Oh, you can't, dude. YouTube is fucking mean. You can't. I mean, YouTube is just mean.
YouTube comments.
Yeah, I mean it's ridiculous. Every time I see a notification that we have a comment,
I get
butterflies.
story.
I'm like, oh no.
No.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Complete for instance, story. Okay, yeah. I did this Bigfoot. Well, I do all these stories. You referred to the Bell Witch one, but I do all these different ones. One of them that I did was a Bigfoot research organization, the BFRO. They have a whole database of sighting accounts, and I did this one story of this sighting account that this hunter had of what he claimed was one Bigfoot having sex with another Bigfoot.
Ooh.
While another Bigfoot watched on.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Okay?
Uh-huh.
So,
hang on. Hold on. Let us dim the lights in the studio here. Go ahead.
I'm telling this story, and I use pictures for my stories on my videos on YouTube. And the only thing, I can't find a fucking picture of 3 Bigfoot fucking. Like, this whole, like fucking, even if, like, there was, like, a fucking Vivid Entertainment production that I could draw from, like, nothing's gonna, so there was this picture of gorillas, and it looks similar to what is being discussed in the story.
Okay.
So I use this picture, and people are like, "It's fucking silverback gorillas, you fucking dumbass." I'm like, so I go back and I annotate on the video. I put a fucking note on the video that says, "I know that the picture is silverback gorillas. If I had a picture of 3 Bigfoot fucking, I wouldn't have fucking posted it on YouTube."
Right, yeah.
And I'd have more than fucking a few thousand views. And
I love it,
dude, they still fucking comment that it's silverback gorillas and that I'm a dummy.
Oh yeah, you're stupid.
Yeah,
you're
that's
not
the only explanation.
You're not me, and I don't have to look you in the eye. So fuck you, you fucking retard.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's what it is too.
Dude, we get so much shit of just like, you guys swearing and making crude jokes discredits anything you're trying to prove here. I'm like, dude, I'm not on a crusade to prove anything to anybody. We're having a fucking good time.
We're here to swear and make jokes.
And we're talking about the topics that we're interested in, and you really need to just fucking relax and stop trolling around YouTube looking for fucking shit you don't like. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Oh yeah, and I've had people say, "Oh, cursing and swearing doesn't make you sound intelligent."
Yeah,
I don't fucking care about sounding intelligent. I call my co-host a dumbass at least 3 times a fucking show.
Uh-huh.
He stutters like a fuck when he reads the news.
He talks like he kind of talks with that sort of like Igor voice, sort of too. He's like he's
oh god, he's from Pennsylvania, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. Yeah, all right, well that explains it. Yeah. I've got family from there.
That horrible Pennsylvanian accent.
No, he's a cool guy. What's his name? Steve?
Yeah, Steve Alcorn.
All right,
Steve's
I got
a great
that one
guy.
right. Yeah.
I've known Steve for quite a few years. I mean, we started doing this in 2013, but I've known him since 2012.
Yeah, Steve's cool. He's more the straight man on the show that kind of tries to get the news across and stuff.
Yeah, well, he is and he isn't.
Okay, you have to remember, Steve is the same guy that told the story that a fucking plastic or a ceramic frog came to life and jumped across his fucking room. And he swears to God he wasn't on LSD or anything.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of contaminants in those fucking Pennsylvania water supplies. You know,
so I like Steve. Steve and I have a good rapport.
There's a lot of industry runoff.
He's a good friend of mine. But some of his fucking stories, man, holy shit, they crack me the fuck up. Like, I heard a Thunderbird once. How the fuck do you know that you heard a Thunderbird? Like, how do you know it wasn't a helicopter, motherfucker?
That's funny. I heard a Thunderbird. Oh, shut up. Shut the fuck
Yeah,
up.
like, I fucking think I laughed my ass off the minute I heard him say it.
Yeah, dude. How did you guys hook up to do the show? Because of Bigfoot stuff or what?
Yeah, we used to be part of a... Oh, God. I'm even embarrassed to say it.
Good. That'll
we were part of like a Bigfoot group called Team Taser.
Wait, hang on.
The whole idea was it was called Team Taser Bigfoot.
We're pulling it up right now.
They were out to
Taser with a Z.
Sorry, go ahead.
They were out to taser a Bigfoot.
Dude, why are you embarrassed of that? Come on.
Oh no, I'm fucking severely embarrassed about this whole fucking thing. So
that's hysterical.
Anyway, they had this thing, and I was at a low point in my life at that time. I had just gotten sober from narcotics, from pain pills, and I was trying to find things to occupy my mind. And so I started listening to a couple of podcasts. Joe Rogan was one of them. And I started listening to this podcast called Extinct the Podcast. It doesn't exist anymore. They don't do it anymore.
How fitting.
But it was, it would link, this podcast linked to this group called Team Taser on Facebook. So I joined the fucking group, got to know a bunch of people in there. And eventually they had a beard contest. Because the whole idea was they wanted to get people in the group involved in the group. So they said, well, we'll have a beard contest, grow your beard like Sasquatch, yada, yada, yada. And so everybody started...
Your average run-of-the-mill beard contest.
That's the worst idea I've ever heard of. What the fuck?
So,
weird.
Well, hey, but it actually got people involved. Like, everybody got involved. All the guys got involved, and so we were all posting pictures of our beards and growing out our beards. Mm-hmm. Well, anyway, I fucking won the goddamn contest.
Yeah.
Did you really?
And I got artwork done of me because of it. And Steve got like third place or something like that. But anyway,
you guys met in a beard contest? Is that what you're telling me? That this show came together because you met in a beard contest?
Right.
Oh, you fucking asshole! What the fuck?
God damn it.
Yeah, exactly. I told you I was fucking embarrassed about it.
All right, go on.
So, but Steve and I get talking over time, and he was actually in talks at that point in time to be on the show Bigfoot Bounty. I don't know if you remember that debacle piece of shit that Spike TV tried to put out.
No, I don't remember. I've kind of been out of TV for a long time. Was it recently?
Yeah, no, don't worry. You're not missing anything. It was horrible. Yeah. It was atrocious. It makes Finding Bigfoot look like the most amazing National Geographic documentary you've ever seen in your life. So
I know Finding Bigfoot is retarded. Yeah, I've definitely seen that.
So if this makes Finding Bigfoot look like a reputable documentary, then you know how bad this is. Mm-hmm. So he was in the running for this show. His partner, the guy that was supposed to be his partner on Bigfoot Bounty, something happened. I can't remember. But anyway, Steve had asked me at one point, he's like, hey, if I need you to, could you step in to do something for him? And I was like, yeah, sure. Basically, be his partner on the show.
Right, yeah.
And then it was that, no, he was still going to do it with the other guy, but that I should do it on my own, and I fucking wound up trying to go for that, and that didn't work out. But basically, that's how Steve and I got our rapport over time.
Because of a fucking...
along the way...
A group that wanted to taser a Bigfoot and then had a beard contest. And, and then you met. And then along the way, what? I'm sorry.
And along the way, we met Matt, who wound up joining us in the beginning. He's not with us anymore, even though he does like the show on occasion still. Mm-hmm. We found Matt along the way, and we just, like I said, we just had a really good rapport, and we decided to go with it. My thing, it was all my brainchild. I mean, I don't try to. I don't want to belittle what anyone else has contributed to the show, but to be honest, those guys just show up.
Yeah, I know how it is.
I mean, I sat down and like really thought out what I wanted to do. Any of the production for the show is done by me. Anything that goes on the show is approved by me. Like I am the final say. Like I run the blog. I do all of these shows. Like there's more than one. There's the Fortean Slip. There's the Fortean Slip Daily Dose. There's Down the Rabbit Hole with David Batdorf. There's the Fortean Slip 3-Way, which I'm starting within the next couple of weeks. And it's all mine.
Well, look at you.
But I found some really good people to be around me. And, even though, like, I'll give Steve shit during the show, and it sounds like I'm completely irritated with him all the time, and sometimes I am, it's a great dynamic that him and I have on the air.
Right.
Well, all right. Look, I just looked up, and it's after 11. We got to fucking wrap up.
Yo.
I just realized
that.
I'm sorry. No, that flew by. We're way over. So yeah, dude, come back on. You know what else I was gonna say? I'll just ask you right now. We got our 1-year anniversary coming up in like 6 weeks or something. Do you wanna come on and chat for a bit at that point? We're gonna try to have as many of our friends of the show on that show as we can.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, cool. We'll send you that date and everything. Do we do? What do you want to play? I know you just kind of ran everything down. Do you want to let people know like where they can find you easily and your blog and all that shit real quick?
Oh yeah. All of the shows are on the YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/the Fortean Slip. And the blog is theforteanslip.blogspot.com. Mm-hmm. I don't know if forteanslip.com still works. I know at one point in time it did. Steve had secured that domain name.
Okay.
But I direct everybody to the blog spot.
So people check out the YouTube. I would recommend checking out the YouTube and subscribing to that, because I check my YouTube my subscriptions, sometimes when I wake up, and I see all the Fortean Slip put up a new Science Minute or a new 10-minute video on this topic or whatever. It's a lot of cool stuff. It's a lot of short videos that you can take in and are pretty packed with information and cool shit for people to check out.
ForteanSlip.com works. It does still work.
Andrea's saying ForteanSlip.com works, yeah.
Yeah, it just directs you to the blog spot. But I'm sharing all this on the page with our listeners, too.
And I mean, all of our stuff is usually under an hour. The podcasts are all under an hour. The stories are usually under 5 minutes. But, yeah, and everything's right there.
All right, dude. Awesome. Thank you for hanging out with us like usual.
Not a problem.
Continued success to you and yours. I know you guys are doing pretty well for just your second year in. So everybody go ahead and check them out, and then try to help us get halfway as successful as them. would be nice.
It takes time, my man. It takes time.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you coming on.
It's not a 100-yard dash, my man. It's a marathon.
Yeah, and no, at this point, I'll be running that marathon with fucking, fake hips and fucking,
a walker,
glass eyes, and canes. Yeah, but we'll get there one day. All right, we gotta go. We'll talk to you soon, Chris.
Take it easy, man.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye. All right, there he goes. Chirs York or the Fortean Slip. And I'm not just making that up. He's like the only YouTube show that I have made friends with and contacted. Literally every time I go on YouTube and I go, hey, I'm going to find another show. I'm gonna check these guys out. Maybe we'll be friends. Maybe we'll talk. You know what I mean? This is the only guy I found that I want to talk to ever. You know what I mean? It's your
YouTube feelings take over and you just get mean and hate everybody.
Yeah, it's just territorial. No, but YouTube, dude. I'm telling you, the low standard. I wish we should have brought this up while he was still here. But the low standard for fucking talk shows, and especially for some reason, people who just record and then upload to YouTube directly and aren't like major podcasters, such an incredibly low standard. Mm-hmm. For shit, and whatever. Every time I try to look for something, I'm like, dude, I'll find a new paranormal podcast, I'll find a new UFO podcast, I'll find a new whatever podcast that I can get into, and maybe I'll send them a message. I listen for 20 minutes, and I'm like, fuck these fucking faggots. I cannot listen to this shit. But if you check out the Fortean Slip, you're gonna get normal people saying fucked up shit once in a while, but doing an entertaining show, you know what I mean? And it's kind of shit that I enjoyed. So
good. Well, I put all of that stuff up on the page for everybody.
All right,
playing along at home.
Goodbye to them. Hello to the second half of the show.
Hello.
And we're gonna go forward after we do a quick music break here.